Good morning, everyone. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you truly believed in yourself? Not because someone else validated you, but because deep down you knew you had what it takes. Belief in yourself is not about arrogance or ego. It's about understanding your worth, embracing your imperfections, and trusting that you have the resilience to face life's challenges. Yet, so many of us struggle with this. Why? Because we've internalized doubt, fear, and the voices of those who told us we couldn't. But let me tell you something powerful. When you believe in yourself, magic happens. You open doors that fear would have kept shut. You take risks that lead to growth. You discover strength in moments of vulnerability. Believing in yourself is an act of courage, a practice of self-love, and a choice we must make every day. So today, let's explore how this belief can transform your life. Belief in yourself is not something you are born with. It's something you learn, develop, and nurture over time. Often we think that confidence or self-belief is an innate quality that some people just have while others don't. But that's not true. Self-belief is built through experiences, decisions, and the small, courageous steps you take every day. Think about a time when you tried something for the first time, maybe learning a new skill, speaking in front of others, or stepping into an unfamiliar role. Chances are you didn't feel completely confident at first. You may have felt nervous or even doubted yourself. But as you continued to show up, to practice, and to push through those moments of uncertainty, you built a little more confidence each time. Over time, those small moments of courage add up, and you begin to trust in your own ability to handle challenges. Self-belief grows when you step outside of your comfort zone. It's easy to stay in a place where everything feels familiar, where you don't have to risk failure or discomfort. But growth doesn't happen there. When you take even a single step into the unknown, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. And every time you do that, you add another layer to your self-belief. It's important to remember that this process isn't linear. There will be setbacks, and there will be days when self-doubt creeps in. That's normal. But the key is to keep showing up for yourself, even when it's hard. Believing in yourself is a practice, not a one-time decision. It's about choosing to trust yourself, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. The beauty of self-belief is that it creates momentum. The more you trust in your ability to take on challenges, the more likely you are to try new things, to take risks, and to pursue your goals. And as you do, you build a stronger foundation of confidence that will carry you through future challenges. So remember, self-belief isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you build step by step with each courageous choice you make. Every time you push through fear, embrace a challenge, or simply show up, you're proving to yourself that you are capable, and that's where true self-belief begins. Perfection is a myth that so many of us chase, thinking that if we can just get everything right, we'll finally feel worthy, confident, or successful. But the truth is, striving for perfection doesn't lead to fulfillment. It leads to frustration, self-doubt, and a constant feeling of falling short. The reason is simple. Perfection is unattainable because we are human. And being human means being beautifully, wonderfully imperfect. What if, instead of trying to hide or fix every flaw, we chose to embrace them? Our imperfections are not weaknesses, they are what make us real. They remind us that we are a work in progress, just like everyone else. When we stop chasing perfection, we open ourselves to growth, to learning, and to the beauty of the journey. Think about the people who inspire you the most. Are they perfect? Likely not. Instead, they are authentic. They own their stories, including the messy, complicated, and imperfect parts. Their courage to show up as they are inspires us, not because they've got everything figured out, but because they're real. They remind us that we don't have to be flawless to make a difference or to be loved. When you let go of the need to be perfect, you also free yourself from the fear of failure. You realize that making mistakes doesn't make you less capable or less valuable, it makes you human. Mistakes are opportunities to learn, to grow, and to get closer to who you're meant to be. Every time you stumble, you're gaining the wisdom and resilience that will help you in the future. Perfectionism also keeps us from taking risks. We hesitate to try new things because we're afraid we won't be good enough. But what if being good enough wasn't the goal? What if the goal was simply to show up, to give it your best, and to learn along the way? When you shift your focus from being perfect to being present and engaged, you allow yourself to experience life fully, flaws and all. The magic of believing in yourself doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from recognizing that you are enough exactly as you are. It comes from accepting that your worth isn't tied to how well you perform or how flawless you appear, but to the courage you show in embracing your true self. By letting go of perfection, you create space for authenticity, connection, and real lasting confidence. That voice in your head that whispers, "You're not good enough," or "What if you fail?" We all have it. It's the inner critic, a relentless commentator that thrives on self-doubt and insecurity. It questions your abilities, diminishes your accomplishments, and magnifies your flaws. But here's the truth: that voice is not a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of fear. And fear doesn't tell the whole story. The inner critic often speaks loudest when you're on the brink of something important, when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, taking a risk, or pursuing a goal that matters to you. It's almost as if it senses the potential for growth and tries to hold you back by planting seeds of doubt. But those doubts are not facts. They are assumptions rooted in past experiences, insecurities, or securities or societal expectations that you've absorbed over time. The good news is you don't have to silence the inner critic completely. Instead, you can challenge it. Start by paying attention to the words it uses. Are they harsh, absolute, or exaggerated? For example, does it say, "You'll never succeed," or "Everyone will judge you"? Recognize that these statements are not grounded in reality. They are fear-based distortions. Replace them with evidence that supports your capabilities, moments when you've succeeded, times when you've faced challenges and come out stronger, or skills you've honed over time. One powerful way to quiet the inner critic is to practice self-compassion. Treat yourself the way you would treat a dear friend who is struggling. If a friend came to you feeling inadequate, you wouldn't tear them down further. You'd offer encouragement, understanding, and support. You deserve the same kindness from yourself. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel uncertain or imperfect. That's part of being human. Another strategy is to reframe the critic's voice as a signal. Instead of letting it discourage you, use it as a cue to pause and reflect. Why is this coming up now? What is the fear behind it? Often the critic speaks up when you're doing something brave or meaningful. Recognizing this can help you shift your perspective and see the critic as a sign that you're on the right path. The inner critic may never disappear entirely, but you have the power to change your relationship with it. You can choose not to let it define you or dictate your actions. By challenging its negativity and focusing on your strengths, you reclaim control over your narrative. You begin to trust in your abilities and believe in your worth, not because the critic is gone, but because you've learned to rise above its voice. The people you surround yourself with have an incredible influence on your mindset, self-perception, and overall belief in yourself. We often underestimate just how much our environment shapes us. Whether we realize it or not, the words, attitudes, and behaviors of those around us can either build us up or tear us down. That's why it's so important to choose your circle carefully, to surround yourself with people who see your potential, who believe in you, and who encourage you to pursue your goals. Think about the energy you feel when you're around someone who genuinely supports you. They listen without judgment, they celebrate your successes, and they remind you of your strengths when you've forgotten them. These people don't see your flaws as limitations, they see them as part of what makes you unique and resilient. Being in the presence of such individuals is empowering because they reflect back the best version of you, even when you can't see it for yourself. On the other hand, being surrounded by negativity or constant criticism can be draining. People who doubt you, dismiss your dreams, or constantly point out your shortcomings can make you second-guess yourself. Over time, their words can seep into your thoughts, becoming part of that inner voice that questions your worth. That's why it's so important to set boundaries with those who bring negativity into your life. You don't have to cut ties entirely, but you do need to protect your mental and emotional space. Surrounding yourself with believers doesn't mean looking for people who will agree with you all the time. True supporters are those who challenge you in constructive ways. They push you to grow, not by tearing you down, but by encouraging you to step out of your comfort zone and helping you see what you're capable of. They give honest feedback, not to criticize, but to help you improve and succeed. It's also worth noting that believing in yourself starts with being that person for others. When you encourage someone else, when you recognize their potential, you not only lift them up, but also strengthen your own belief in the power of support and positivity. It creates a ripple effect when you uplift others. You create a community of mutual encouragement where everyone benefits from the energy of shared belief. Building a strong, positive circle of influence isn't always easy. It takes time and intentional effort to find the right people and to cultivate those relationships. But when you do, the impact is profound. The people around you can become a source of strength, helping you navigate challenges and reminding you to keep believing in yourself, even when times get tough. By choosing to surround yourself with believers, you create an environment where self-belief can flourish. And that's where real growth and confidence begin. Failure is one of the most feared experiences in life, yet it is also one of the most valuable. It's natural to want to avoid failure. Nobody enjoys making mistakes, facing setbacks, or falling short of their goals. But what if we shifted our perspective and saw failure not as the opposite of success, but as an essential part of it? What if we recognize that every failure carries within it a lesson, an opportunity, and a stepping stone to something greater? When you fail at something, it's easy to feel discouraged or even ashamed. You might question your abilities, your choices, or even your worth. But failure doesn't define you. It's simply an outcome, a moment in time that doesn't reflect the entirety of who you are. What truly matters is what you choose to do next. Do you let the failure hold you back, or do you use it as a chance to grow, to adapt, and to try again with new insights? Some of the greatest successes in history were born out of failure. Think about innovators, entrepreneurs, or leaders who have made a significant impact. Rarely did they achieve their goals on the first try. They faced rejection, criticism, and countless setbacks. But what set them apart was their willingness to keep going. They didn't see failure as a reason to stop. They saw it as a reason to learn. They understood that each failure brought them closer to their goal by teaching them what didn't work and guiding them toward what would. Failure is also a humbling experience that reminds us of our humanity. It strips away the illusion of perfection and forces us to confront our vulnerabilities. And while that can be uncomfortable, it's also incredibly powerful. Vulnerability is where growth begins. It's in those moments of struggle that we discover our resilience, our creativity, and our capacity to overcome challenges. One of the most important lessons failure teaches us is that our worth is not tied to our achievements. You are not less valuable because you failed, just as you are not more valuable because you succeeded. Your worth comes from who you are, not from what you do. When you understand this, failure becomes less intimidating. You start to see it as a temporary setback rather than a reflection of your identity. Failure also builds empathy and connection. When you face your own challenges, you're better equipped to understand and support others in their struggles. You become more compassionate, both toward yourself and toward the people around you. This sense of connection can inspire and uplift others, creating a ripple effect that goes far beyond your individual experiences. Every failure you face is an opportunity to start again, this time with more wisdom, clarity, and determination. It's a chance to redefine your path, to try a different approach, or to pursue a new direction altogether. And each time you rise after a failure, you strengthen your belief in your ability to persevere. You prove to yourself that you are capable of facing challenges and emerging stronger on the other side. Failure is not something to fear or avoid, it's something to embrace. It's a teacher, a guide, and a necessary part of the journey toward growth and success. When you stop seeing failure as the end and start seeing it as the beginning, you unlock the courage to take risks, to dream bigger, and to believe in yourself no matter what obstacles come your way. As I bring this to a close, I want to remind you of something powerful. The magic of believing in yourself is already within you. It's not something you have to search for outside. It's something you nurture with every step you take, every challenge you face, and every risk you embrace. Remember, you don't have to be perfect, fearless, or invincible to believe in yourself. You just have to start by embracing your imperfections, silencing your inner critic, and surrounding yourself with those who lift you up. Take small steps out of your comfort zone, and when failure comes, greet it as a teacher rather than a foe. The journey to self-belief is not about never doubting yourself. It's about showing up even when you do. It's about trusting that you are enough, that you have what it takes, and that each moment of courage brings you closer to the life you want to create. So as you leave here today, I hope you'll carry this with you. Believe in yourself, even when it feels hard, even when the path is unclear. Because the more you believe in yourself, the more you'll inspire others to believe in themselves too. And that, my friends, is where the real magic begins. Thank you.